Hi, everyone. My name is Anita Ladhani. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and an energy practitioner. And I want to talk to parents out there about video games. As you know, I work in a children's emergency room and I do the psychiatric evaluations for patients, kids who come in with all kinds of behavioral issues, all kinds of mental health issues. And, I've talked about this before, but I really feel like this is an important message. Parents, our kids these days are playing way too many hours of video games. And it's not even that they're playing video games that are safe and conducive and productive. No, they're playing video games that are violent. They're playing video games that are aggressive. They're playing video games that show a lot of, blood and death. And it's what's happening is that our kids are literally becoming numb to what they're playing and what they're absorbing. You know, I read something recently that made a lot of sense, right? When we talk about our diet, we usually assume that our diet is what we eat and what we drink. But actually, our diet is everything that we expose ourselves to. Everything we see, everything we hear, everything that we feel, everything that we wear. I mean, that's part of our diet. Everything that you do, you spend your time with, that's your diet. And the video games that these kids are playing, younger and younger and younger, and the hours and hours of video games and the horrific video games. This Fortnite is like the worst. But there's so many of them, and a lot of them have like these, from what I'm told, again, I don't play video games. My kids didn't really play video games until they were much older, and they, by that time, didn't really care for them. But I understand, the kids get together on Xbox and they play these, basketball or whatever, and I get that. That's fine. But I'm specifically talking about the violent video games. It's actually an addiction. It actually rewires the brain of the kids. It actually completely enables and sets them on the path to have inattentiveness, which is basically a lot of ADHD, attention deficit. It causes depression, it causes anxiety, it causes anger, it causes a lack of coping skills. It increases the level of violence and aggression that these kids then display in their personal lives. It sort of encourages and fosters a lot of auditory and visual hallucinations, because again, whatever you're absorbing is what's going to come out. So if these kids are absorbing hours and hours and hours over days and months and years of these aggressive, violent video games, then that's what's playing in their heads, and they can't distinguish reality from fiction. So parents, I know times are tough, especially those of us living in the West. It's hard because we work full time, we work all day, we deal with the demands of work. Then we come home and we try to put a decent meal on the table. And then we have to catch up and, figure out if they're doing well in school. And so we're happy that the kids are engaged in some shape or form. But, what I'm finding is the short-term, break that you may get is actually having some severe long-term consequences in terms of the kids becoming addicted to them, the kids coming in, again, like I've said, with all kinds of anxiety, depression, hallucinations, all kinds of lack of social skills, lack of coping skills. So what's the solution? Well, minimize screen time. That's it. What do you do instead? Anything but. So when I say screen time, it's not just video games. It's, staying on the phone and watching YouTube. It's watching TV. It's, anything to do with the screen. I don't care if it's productive. It's screen time. Instead, turn it off. They will complain and throw temper tantrums because that's what kids do. But tell them it's okay to get bored. It's actually an amazing thing when you get bored, because then you're forced to use that amazing imagination of yours. Go color, go draw, Go twiddle your thumbs. Nothing wrong with that. Go outside and, if again, weather pending, go outside, get a breath of fresh air. Do anything but staying at home and being engaged in screens. In fact, I would also say take that time to go, even if it's 15, 20 minutes, go spend that time one-on-one with your child. And you may say, well, I don't have that time. I've got so much to do. But guys, let me assure you, let me promise you, the 10, 15 minutes that you may spend in your busyness with your child, engaging, conversing, just spending time out in nature, doing an activity. Sit down and when was the last time you painted? The simplest thing are watercolors, in case you have an experiment. Sure, when we think of paint, we go, oh my God. And I know a lot of OCD parents who are like, too much work, we have to clean up, we have to do that. Actually, it's really not. Okay, you can get the simple watercolor sets because there's something special, magical about painting versus marker. I used to have a little kid who used to call it markering. It was so cute. Using markers or using, crayons. Paints are just fun because it helps kids just break boundaries. So have a simple, your dining table. Put a little plastic protector on it. Put a little tablecloth on it. Have some, little cups of water. You don't need much. Have paper towels on hands. And take 15 minutes, set a timer and say, we're going to paint. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the process, not the product, right? But spend that time together. If it's not that, then let's say, okay, we're going to play a quick game. Quick Uno game. Or quick whatever it is that, you guys do or don't do. 15 minutes. Time to reconnect. Time to, disconnect from the world and reconnect with your child. And teaching them by example how to use their leisure time without being on a screen. But I know that I've been guilty of this where I'm trying to catch up on my messages. I'm trying to catch up on my emails. And at some point, I just want to veg out and not think. But guys, guess what? Parenting is hard work. It is what it is. And you only have a few years to get it right. Trust me, they grow up. And whatever you do when they're younger is going to help you enjoy the fruits of your parenting when they get older. Because it's right there. Simple as that. So suck it up. Take time for yourself. Make the sacrifices as parents. But do minimize screen time. Do minimize video games. And I promise you, you will see the benefits of that. You definitely will. Love and light. Take care and God bless.